let's flip into the real estate market update section, and we got Dylan. Why don't you get us started? What's going on in the big, what is notable? What's going on in the market on the big one, and give me a good story over the past 2 weeks.
Well, the headline is definitely a shortage of inventory. Across the board, we have about half as many homes and properties on the sale on the market right now as we normally do. So that in and of itself, decrease in supply is gonna and an increase in demand with the people coming here now that you can travel has caused kind of a frenzy in the market. And I guess story wise, it's been very difficult to get properties under contract because it is so competitive. And I last weekend wrote 3 offers over asking price, one of them with a $20,000 escalation clause, and we didn't get any of them because there are so many people that are in the market bidding on stuff. And so people are, Scott's been talking about this. I think it was hotter in Oahu, and it's kind of caught up to us here on the Big Island, but people are waiving appraisals and cleanings and stakings and surveys, and I mean everything they can possibly do to make their offer as strong as possible. And so those guys with cash definitely have the advantage and the upper hand right now because it is extremely competitive. And if you are in the Big Island and you want to sell your property, now is the time. So give me a call because you have the best conditions possible to sell your house. Nobody's going to ask you to do anything because they don't want you to go with a different offer. So very busy.
That is tempting. Of course, the problem is if you sell, where are you going to go and buy? But if you're looking at if you're in a position to sell, it seems like you can't beat it. Scott, give us the update on what's going on with the Oahu's market, and give me a good story. I want a juicy story, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, we're still having that severely restricted inventory. The inventory levels are back to still 2007 market, which was 1.4 months of inventory, and we had 20% price appreciation back then. So the activity in the single family home side, and now I'm seeing it in the condo side under 700,000 pretty much everywhere except for Waikiki and Kaka'ako. So every segment I try to look at a little trend, something different, because I probably wrote 12 offers in the last 2 weeks, and every single one of them was over asking, multiple offers. I think the lowest one we were competing with had 5 other offers on it. I had a townhouse I wrote in Eva Beach. There were 28 offers on that one. There was this Hawaii Kai home that it was listed at 1.25 million. We came in at 1.3 with an escalation clause and appraisal contingency removal and all this other stuff. 24 offers. We weren't even in the top 15. She had 15 over 1.3. So we got blown out of the water on that one. We just kind of shook our heads to tuck our tail and move on to the next one. But the trend that I'm seeing now, and I wrote down a little bit of this real quick, is so Waikiki under $500,000. It's starting to shrink a little bit, the inventory. So we're starting to see some absorption there, people moving into that market. But once you get over the $500,000 mark in Waikiki, it's definitely slow. You get over $1 million, there's 24 years of inventory. It is dead at $1 million plus in Waikiki. But Kaka'ako, which is the other area that I was seeing some slow activity, under 750,000, there's a little more than 1 month of inventory. So all the inventory, people are starting to move into the condos now because the single family homes have gotten so busy, and people are starting to get comfortable with the more affordable condo side. The higher end range is still slow a little bit, but that's kind of the latest trend that I've noticed out there.
Wow, that's remarkable. I want to give a real quick shout out here to Joanne. Hey, Joanne, welcome. Joanne is also a member of the Islander Ohana, and Joanne Kinaya is here with us and so is Mark. Mark, they're all here watching with you as well. So, hey, guys, I had a quick as you guys were talking about this. What came to my mind is has the market, have sellers started doing an auction type of thing? Because it seems to me that if you were to do an auction, you could probably maximize even more than what you're already getting. Scott, what's your sense of, why shouldn't I do an auction? If I had a single family home in a highly desirable area with a perfect, like let's say a great home, perfect desirability, why wouldn't I want to put it out to bid and do an auction on it?
Well, it basically is. That's basically what we're looking at now. And in fact, and I'm seeing a lot of this in the marketplace. What the strategy you should be doing, because there's restricted showings anyway with COVID, is you come on the market, you allow showings for, say, a 7-day period, allow everyone to get in, get them the information. This is the date that offers need to be in by, and then we'll review after that. So it effectively becomes an auction at that point. And it helps the buy side be able to not rush to make a decision. It allows them to come in, analyze the property, analyze the info. If you're a good agent, you're going to get the survey put together, the building permit packet, all these various things so that people can review. So when they submit that offer, they're removing contingencies, that it's as tight as can be. And that's where you get the bid ups. And the other thing that I would do, the offers come in, I start looking at the best ones. Then I get on the phone with people and I start massaging people around. Where people got to watch out is the limited service agents in this market. And this just happened to me. We submitted, I couldn't get a hold of anybody. Hey, do you have any other offers? What's going on? They got back to us and said, oh, they chose one. And so that person may have saved on the commission a little, but they lost thousands of dollars in net because that agent on the other side didn't work to get those things bid up where it could have benefited the seller more.
This is where you need this is where experience matters, right? Decades of doing this matters. Dylan, give me, what sort of, why not do, if an auction that's already happening, what do you kind of do to maximize that value?
The exact same thing that Scott's talking about is, I've been recommending to my agents, and I've seen other people do it, that you get everything ready. You prepare for the house to go on the market, because we can't really like pre-market with new ethical standards, but you can have everything ready social media wise. And so the day you put it on the market, you do the blast and you basically show it for 3 to 5 days. And, you tell all of the buyer's agents that will review offers. You release it on Monday, we're going to review offers on Friday, and we'll let you know by Saturday what the decision is. But the key to that is, and I'm seeing, and important for sellers to consider, is to maximize that. I really feel like you almost want to undervalue your property. So if you think the property is worth 700, instead of the conventional wisdom, well, let's price it at 725 or 750, and then we can negotiate down to 700, right? That's the conventional wisdom. But in this type of market, what I'm telling people is, if you think it's worth 700, let's list it at 675, and you'll probably end up getting 750, because people are going to come in and say, wow, this is a great deal. They'll go crazy over it. They'll know that there's 9 other offers, and that emotional aspect gets built into it. And so you almost net more money than you would by listing high and then maybe waiting for a couple of weeks or a month before you get the right offer and then negotiating back down. And you're also going to have the most favorable terms, like Scott is saying. They're going to remove a bunch of asks and concessions because they want to have the strongest offer. So that's, again, why it's super important that you're working with, people want to save money on that commission, but you may save a % or 2 on a listing side commission, but you could be losing out 5 or 6% on your sales price, and net losing 4 or 5% because you didn't market the property properly and get the maximum value out of it.
So go ahead, Scott. You want to say something?
Yeah, I even wrote an offer, actually 2 offers last week, where we even wrote in special terms, buyer will not ask seller for any credits or concessions. You can't get any more blunt than that. And we haven't even done our inspection yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. Go ahead.
And another important thing, we've talked about this in the past, but I'm also seeing now that, and we were talking about this pre-show, Scott and I, that there's a big flood of new agents into the market. Every time it gets hot, you have people, I'm gonna get my real estate license and become a millionaire, right? So that becomes difficult to deal with because you don't have the experience there. And I'm also seeing that, with the good experienced listing agents, they're giving preference to the agents that they know are bringing a credible buyer, that they know they've already pre-screened their financing, that they know they're going to be able to work with and solve issues throughout the process. And so those relationships really matter in this market also, because if all things are equal, price is equal, terms are equal, they're going to go with the agent that they want to work with, that they know is going to have them, is going to do their job and create the smoothest process possible to get that deal closed.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm getting out of this is that, if you're looking at, we're talking to, in the Aloha Friday Hawaii Real Estate Show, we're talking mostly to people on the mainland who are looking at buying a home in Hawaii. But we also get a handful of people that are in Hawaii. And if you're in Hawaii and if you're looking at selling real estate, what you just heard from the guys here that know how to do the job, definitely want to give us a contact. There's a link in the description. Click on it. And if you are selling a home on Oahu, we'd be, or or a home in Hawaii, we'll be happy to help you with some great. What tips do you have for potential buyers? Your market update was a bit discouraging. Yeah, sorry, Megan, but I know the reason why you're a part of our Ohana here is because you hear it straight. Scott, why don't you tell us what tips do you have for potential buyers?
Yeah, give me a ring and I'll get you into a place.
That's the tip.
But I actually wanted to I know what we're talking about is a snapshot and can be discouraging right now, but I think the overall arching idea is, and this is a quick summary, but when interest rates dropped, it created such an affordability in housing in the market, from a mortgage payment standpoint. And what happened, and I did it, and all my investors did it, and a ton of people did it. They cash out, refinance other homes they had. So they're sitting on all this capital. Now that capital has to be put into the marketplace. Our price increase right now hasn't even eaten up that affordability that was created. So our prices are going to continue to go, not just to catch up to where the prices would have been if interest rates didn't drop for the mortgage payment, but you got to put this capital into the market and invest it somewhere. So I see this price increase going and this market going for about 3 years here, probably. And in doing so if you're looking at 10% plus price appreciation per year, you're buying at a discount right now. That's why people are coming in, and that's why they're paying a premium, is because they're hedging that. For one, they want to put their money somewhere, and two, they want to be in Hawaii, and then they feel like prices are going to be up. So that's kind of the idea that you have to take and look at with this market is you're buying in a discount right now.
Yeah, awesome. Dylan,
just to illustrate that, I just did a video on this last week to illustrate that in real dollar terms, right? So if you were going to buy a $700,000 house at 5% interest, which was common a few years ago, still a good interest rate, your monthly payment would be like $2,700 a month to borrow that $700,000. In today's market, with interest rates under 3%, that same $700,000 will cost you like $1,800 or $1,900 a month in a mortgage payment. So it changes the amount of money that you can borrow. So now for that same $2,700 a month, you can borrow like $880,000. So it increases your buying power by $180,000, and it doesn't increase your monthly cost at all. So that's caused a huge increase in demand, and people that maybe were at a lower level budget can bump up to a higher level, and that's creates additional demand in the market for those higher priced homes.
So what's the advice to Megan? Hurry up and buy it now.
Well, the advice is to put yourself in the best position possible, which you're already doing. If you're in the Ohana, you're doing the right thing. But you want to make sure your financing is in place. You're saving money for as big of a down payment as possible, because that could make the difference between somebody putting down 10 and somebody putting down 20%, or somebody putting down 30%. If you're up against an all cash offer, it's going to be hard to beat them. But at the same time, you want to have as much of an advantage as possible, and then be as prepared to buy as possible, so you're not second guessing, and you're ready to pull the trigger when the time comes. So it's a tough market for buyers. We're not going to lie. It's a very tough market, but that could change. I mean, that's real estate's a dynamic environment, and we were talking 6 months ago. We were in the dumps 6 months ago. Nothing was happening. It was we were way down, and then look where we're at now. So who knows where we're at 6 months from now.
Things are always changing, but yeah, it's Scott. You're going to throw in another comment here?
Yeah, it's almost like coming to visit the state. The upfront planning that you do is key to being able to get an accepted offer. You have to get all your ducks in a row, and you got to work with someone who knows how to get creative with contracts and has those relationships with other agents out there to be able to get into first position.
So Megan, I would say you're in the Ohana, and that's what one of the sort of the great benefits of that is that we know that you're serious about Hawaii, and that's why Scott is here, and Dylan is here, and Heidi is here as well. Even though Heidi's not physically here today, she is here. She is here to help out. And hey, Scott, here's something for you here. Bernice says, I like Scott. He called me in California. He will call you.